Hey everyone, Tom here. I wanted to do a quick technical report on a penny stock I kind of looked at back in March, and I happened to pull it up on my screen about a week ago, and I'm kind of trying to determine if this can get some kind of a move north. So I'm just going to kind of talk about the technical picture and see if there's see if we can find enough evidence, that this could go higher for a technical bounce. The symbol is FGLD, Focus Gold Corp. Basically, I would just call it a resource penny stock. I don't know what the CEO's plans are. Specifically, they're kind of in a transition phase. They've got some interest in coal and the gold or the resource sector. But 95% of what I look at is technical, so I'll leave the fundamental analysis to somebody else. But again, the symbol is FGLD. Now, the interesting thing about this penny stock, when you look at the chart for the first time, is that it has a huge range here where you have close to $1 marking an important top of a swing trading range, 85 to 90 cents. And then you've got these lows down here, basically about a penny. That is a pretty large range. I mean, it just goes without saying that's a large range. So from a technical picture, at least it gives you an idea where FGLD has been, and you know what the parameters are as far as the top of the range and the lower end of the range. The lower end of the range is what's kind of interesting. When we zoom in here, we see that this low here, see, it was December 18th, December 19th, or December 20th, 0.022 cents. So that was right down here, 0.022 cents. We had the huge spike up to close to $1. By the way, this spike up was the volume was very spotty. So that's the fly in the ointment there. It was a move up to close to $1, but the volume behind it was nothing substantial. But anyway, having said that, we had that low of 0.022 down here. Then we saw the stock just pretty much decline to the bottom of the range. Here it hit the 0.022. We had a slight bounce up to about 6 or 7 cents. Then it kind of drifted down again, broke under this 0.022 level, and since then it's kind of been in a basement down here below 0.022. Now, one technique I like to use in technical analysis is I'd like to see where, whether it's a penny stock or any other kind of stock, where it breaks below an important support range, and then kind of see if it has the possibility of breaking back up into the swing trading range. So the key level is 0.022, and right now we're trading at about a 0.013, 0.014 cents, around that level. The reason why it's important about breaking back above 0.022 is because that, to me, that's kind of a buy signal. There's this other trader, I think his name's Trader Vic. He talks about a 2B, it's called a 2B buy signal, where you have a break under support, and then you stay under there for a bit, and then you break back up above through resistance again. He calls it a 2B buy signal. There's some technical and psychological reasons why that buy signal exists, but I do see it happen a lot of times, and within the context of the whole trading range, it's important because you have like I say, the top of the range up here, 85 to 90 cents. It wasn't taken out, wasn't taken out there, wasn't taken out there. You've got this large swing trading range, and you broke below this 0.022 here. Now, when it broke below 0.022, basically this stock it's supposed to just disappear. From a technical perspective, that's what's supposed to be happening below 0.022. Either the stock just goes bankrupt, or it gets liquidated or sold off or something and just goes out of business. That's really the implication. But if it comes back through here, price is essentially saying, well, now we're back in the range, so now we can try to explore back to the top of the range, or some at least somewhere, some sort of retracement into where the traditional range was. So anyway, I hope I explained that with some kind of clarity. But the main point being is that breaking back up through 0.022 or higher could be important for this stock. There are some spotty volume issues, but I still think that technical criteria could be important for this stock going forward. So if we zoom in a little bit, the recent action, it's basically been drifting down here. One could make a possible argument that we have a little bit of a inverse head and shoulders here. Maybe that's a stretch, but a lot of times the left and right shoulders are about equal in length. So if you get a neckline here, that could suggest a break up around here from a move out of this small inverse head and shoulders pattern. But if you do have the left and right shoulder about equal in terms of time, then we probably need another few days over here before we see some kind of upward movement. In the very short term, we see that we have at least possibly a small short-term uptrend, but it's still way too early to make any kind of conclusions on that. I just don't know if this is going to just drift sideways. I'm just trying to assess possibilities here and try to, determine what the least path of resistance is from what the price action is giving me in terms of evidence. If we zoom out a little bit, again, there's something else I kind of noticed here. If you take the distance between these two peaks, you have here in September, I think it's like September 20th or so, and then you had this peak here in January, and you look at this, the distance here. These are these two spike swing highs, and then if you calculate the same distance going forward over here, you get to about May 25th. So the only reason I mentioned that is that I'm trying to see if this has some kind of a cycle for the spike, for these spike moves. And so if the end of it's about 4 months. So if the end of the 4 month cycle, comes down around May 25th, which was about a week or two ago, it could suggest that we are overdue for, you know, a move into this possible 4-month cycle. Looking back a bit farther, I wasn't really able to find more spots on the 4-month cycle. I mean, I can look at it right now. Let's see. Here we got September, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, well, you could say that this is about 4 months here. You did sort of have a spike there. Let's see if we can go back a bit more. So that was May. Okay, well, I'm not sure how significant that is, but it could play into a possible upcoming move for FGLD. Let's see, what else could we say here? Another thing I like to look at is the histogram of the MACD line. You probably heard of MACD in technical analysis. What I like to do is I like to plot just the MACD line as a histogram, which is up here in the yellow. And what you'll see here is that when the histogram starts to trend towards the zero line, the zero line's over here. There's the zero value, horizontal zero value. When the histogram trends towards the zero line and very close, but not quite, gets to the zero line, a lot of times that's where you can see strong price action. In this case, I'm looking for price action that would go up, so I'm looking at it relative, on a relative basis, since the MACD histogram's been below zero, down here, I'm looking for it to recover and get above zero. Okay, so here you see, and way back here in, let's see, I think this is 2012. You had that MACD histogram accelerate towards zero. Here it actually got to the zero, and then you had the bars rise above zero, and it coincided with this nice little run in the price action. Then the second time we see that happen is here. Again, MACD histogram bars moving towards zero, break above zero, and then they even get a follow-on move above zero, which led to the move, to about 80 cents. And now, sure enough, we're seeing the MACD histogram bars get progressively closer to the zero line. Let me maximize this. So, a lot of times in these penny stocks, I've seen the progression of the MACD histogram towards the zero line and through it lead to some kind of an upside breakout. Now, in some cases, it just doesn't work. It really, it depends on the stock. Sometimes you could just have price it's just not ready, or it just ends up going sideways, and it is never able to sustain a breakout. But a lot of times, I have seen it, lead to a large breakout. So anyway, this is getting rapidly towards the zero line here, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens or how price is behaving, assuming that this continues and gets above the zero line. Now, another trading indicator I look at is the Traders Index, TRIX. Again, it's also in histogram format. You can see it right here. And again, you see it heading towards the 0 line. Here, heading towards the 0 line, led to this move, this move. This one here, obviously, it didn't pan out. It never succeeded in making the full move up through the 0 line. But here we have another shot at it. Okay. And by the way, as we're looking at this, there's also a potential bullish divergence. A bullish divergence being when you have the indicator making a higher a higher low, but you have price down here making a lower low. Okay, so you have the indicator making a higher low and then price making a lower low. That's called a bullish divergence, and it can support upward price action and help price action through a breakout. So there's that bullish divergence. That divergence also exists on the MACD line here. Indicator making a higher low, and then you see price making a lower low down here. And you have the benefit of the histogram, trying to get above the 0 line. Now, whether all that pans out, we'll have to see. Again, I'm just trying to make an analysis of the technical condition of this penny stock. And then finally, when we look at the longer term time frame, in particular the monthly time frame, you can see that it's got a large, at least a potential reversal hammer. This is the monthly candlestick bar for May. A monthly potential reversal hammer. A lot of times that can show, that you're about to see a change in trend, but you really need to have this confirmed. This is the May monthly candlestick, and you really need to have it confirmed by a close above 0.0175 during the month of June to establish that this was the low. So that still needs to play out on the longer term monthly time frame. In the near term, it's really all about breaking above 0.015. It's the top of the range here. And we'll have to see if this could actually develop into some kind of a run. It is a very low float stock. At least now, with penny stocks, you never know about dilution or if they add more shares to the stock. Of course, that's a risk with pretty much every penny stock out there. But right now, this is a low floater, and we'll have to see if I'm correct that this can run into some kind of a technical bounce. If it does bounce, chances are it would be fast and furious. And based on the divergence, I could see this easily taking out 6 cents and maybe getting into the 10 to 20 cent range just on a bounce. But first things first, we'll have to see in the short term if any of these technical levels are successfully breached, and whether or not we see a confirmed price action. I mean, that confirms the technical prediction. Okay, that's it. A bit longer video than I wanted to make, but again, this was FGLD, and we shall see what happens.